Premium pricing. So premium pricing is one of the core strategies available to you as a B2B SaaS business. And it means charging more for your product. But I want to walk you through how that actually works and why it is possible and what the virtuous cycle is that you can get started with premium pricing. So why it is a good long-term strategy, and we want to break it down a bit. So here on the whiteboard, I have sort of two examples, one with a regular price and then another premium price. So let me sort of walk you through how it works and give you a little bit of my philosophy of thinking around why premium pricing actually is a strong position in the marketplace. So let's say you have a price of 100, it could be 100K for like an enterprise software solution. So you have a price of 100, and let's say you have customer acquisition cost of like 20K, so it costs you 20K to get a customer. It costs you another 20K to onboard that customer, to just making sure that they adopt the product, that the integrations are built, that their people are trained, that things are configured, whatever it is. And then it costs you another 10K a year to run their servers and just making sure that all the updates are in place so that things don't break down. And let's say you have another 40 into ongoing product development. So you're paying like another 40 a year out of this budget that is your price from the customer to just improve the product. And if you add this up, 20, 40, 50, 90, you have 10 left over from the 100 as profits. So this is great. Now, this might be a good offering in the marketplace. So 100K for the type of product you deliver, and sort of the customer acquisition cost might be 20K overall. And then onboarding is like sort of at an expected level and so forth. So this might be okay. So let's see what happens if we then say, hey, let's go premium. Let's try and double the price. So now for the same kind of product, we're now charging twice as much, so 200K. So if you just charge twice as much, then you can say, well, then customers are not going to buy from you. But then I'll say, well, what if we were willing to pay 3 times as much for those customers? So here we have a good sales guy. Here we have the best sales guy. The good sales guy is willing to spend, X amount of days or weeks on acquiring a customer. The best sales guy is willing to spend twice as much time as the good sales guy, because the best sales guy usually doesn't cost 3 times as much. Well, he will, but he will be able to actually outspend in both time and effort. You're getting, you can market more, you can just do more work. That means that this guy actually will visit your customer on site, build a business case, go through the motions, and he's an industry expert with 20 years of experience. This is just like a good sales guy. So the difference in the sales experience from the customer side might be so big that there's just this guy's ability to make the customer, let's say, feel safe that the product is for them, that it's actually going to work, explain all the sort of the particulars of the solution and how it's going to fit into their situation, might be what takes them over the edge and say, hey, I'd rather trust this guy because he kind of gets it than this guy who seems just a little bit off in immature ways. Then what happens is that this guy is willing to spend 60K on actually onboarding the product, which means that over here, I get a good onboarding product. Nothing wrong with it. We're going to configure the thing, we're going to create the integrations, all these things work. But over here, I might get a really senior person on site for a month, backed up by a really senior team that's just going to do whatever I want them to do so that the solution actually works. They're just going to project manage the entire thing, and we're going to have in-depth delivery calls once a week for a year. So the difference you can do to an onboarding project by spending 60K versus 20K on the onboarding is huge. And of course, this guy gets to sell this, to say, hey, the reason you pay 200 is because we have this dedicated team of real experts that are going to run the onboarding. We're just going to do all the work from you compared to the regular solutions that are not, right? So that's our value proposition, much safer, much better, but that's also why it's a premium product. So you actually sell the cost in a sense, and that's why you're able to charge the premium. And then servicing is the same, $10, but then if you want the same 10 profits, you actually have more left over. So you can actually outspend on product. So here you spend 70 versus here where you spend 40. So it's almost twice as much. So that means that next year, not only am I still willing to outspend both on the sales and the onboarding, but I have also been able to invest twice as much in the product. So the actual product that the premium offering is able to deliver is now, let's say, improving at twice the rate compared to the non-premium offerings. So over 5 or 10 years, that means that I've actually invested twice as much in the product. I still have the best salespeople. I still have the best servicing. I'm just a premium offering. So I'm actually worth more to the customer. So premium pricing is one of these weird things that it's like a self-reinforcing loop. By charging a higher price, you now have more money to fund all the things that actually create the value. So it's a little bit like chicken and egg, like what comes first, the value of the price? I was like, well, you just need to get started with the premium price, charge more, and then immediately reinvest it into value creation. And you can immediately reinvest it by doing onboarding a sale. So you don't need to first sell them to then get this. You can actually sell them by promising this, getting these results, having the same left over, more for product, and then you do it again. So premium pricing is just one of these strong positions where the more time you invest, the more it compounds and just becomes a stronger and stronger proposition. And the other guys will just have a harder and harder time keeping up. So this is the primary argument for premium. Consider it. It's a really strong proposition and it's much better than just not being anything in particular. Take care.